Welcome to Royal Daily Report, your #1 source for royal investigations and breaking news that no one else dares to cover. I am your host, and tonight we bring you one of the most shocking stories in royal history. A single email sent by Prince Harry years ago may have just exposed the real truth about his marriage to Meghan Markle. What we have uncovered will completely change everything you thought you knew about them. This is an investigation you absolutely cannot miss. Stay with us. For years, the whole world believed that Prince Harry would stand by Meghan Markle no matter what. He gave up his home, his royal titles, and even his own family just to be with her. But now something has changed. Inside royal circles, there is a quiet storm building. And this storm was not started by Meghan. It was started by Harry himself. Because in a move that shocked even the people closest to the palace, Harry recently made a choice that caught Meghan completely off guard. It has exposed serious problems in their marriage that can no longer be hidden. Harry says it all started years ago with one email, one sentence, one small slip of truth that revealed the real story behind their whole marriage. And once you understand what that one sentence really meant, everything looks completely different. This is not just a marriage with a few small problems. This is a marriage that was built on a weak and broken foundation. And that foundation is finally starting to crack. Make sure you subscribe to Royal Daily Report right now and smash that like button for this bombshell investigation. Now let us go back to where the cracks first appeared. It was February 2018. The world did not know it yet, but inside the palace, something very strange was happening. Prince Harry had sent an email, a formal, official one, that would later become legal evidence in a court case. Most people who read that email thought it was simple and routine, nothing unusual. Just Harry being protective. But buried inside the lines of that email was one sentence that changed everything. Harry wrote, "I can't begin to tell you what it will say about the institution if this isn't resolved before the baby's arrival and the wedding." At first, this seems harmless. It even seems responsible. But the people who read that email very carefully felt something uncomfortable. Because there was one very big problem. In February 2018, there was no baby. There had been no announcement. No visible pregnancy. No rumors, nothing at all. So why was Harry writing about a baby's arrival months before the wedding, when no pregnancy had ever been confirmed or made public? There were only two possible explanations. First, Harry was thinking about a future baby, speaking out of hope. Or second, Harry already believed that a baby was on the way at that very moment. And based on the tone of his email, the urgency, the frustration, the almost panicked feeling in his words, it did not sound like hope. It sounded like a man desperately trying to fix a crisis before the rest of the world found out about it. That one line, tucked inside that one email, became the spark. The tiny slip that pointed to a much bigger truth. A truth that Harry never meant to reveal. Because if Meghan had told Harry she was already pregnant, then everything that happened next suddenly starts to make sense. Once that email landed in the inboxes of palace staff, quiet confusion spread through the halls. Meghan had allegedly told Harry she was expecting a baby, and Harry, emotional, protective, and deeply in love, believed her completely. And why would he not? He was in love. Blindly, deeply, and with his whole heart. But inside the royal staff, something did not add up. There were no medical confirmations, no doctor's appointments, no official reports from any healthcare provider. The only thing anyone had was Harry's urgent voice, repeating the same phrase over and over again. "It needs to be settled before the baby arrives." That line echoed through late-night phone calls, through planning meetings, through quiet whispers in palace offices. It was as if the entire royal institution had been pushed onto a countdown clock that no one had agreed to follow. And in the middle of all of this, Harry grew more and more desperate. He was not behaving like a calm and collected prince. He was behaving like a man running out of time. A man who believed everything would fall apart if the truth came out too soon. Every decision became urgent. Every conversation became tense. Every small delay sent Harry into a spiral of worry. And behind the scenes, the unspoken question grew louder and louder among the staff. If Meghan was truly pregnant, why could no one else confirm it? But Harry was not willing to slow down long enough to ask that question himself. He trusted what he had been told. He trusted the woman he loved. And that trust was about to change the entire course of his life. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to Royal Daily Report to stay updated on this explosive story. The speed of Harry and Meghan's engagement shocked even the most experienced royal experts. They had only known each other for less than a year when Harry insisted the wedding had to happen. Not next year, not later, but as soon as humanly possible. Royal marriages usually move very slowly. Careful planning, traditional steps, background checks, family approvals, plans that can take years to complete. But Harry pushed everything into a 6-month sprint, a record-breaking rush that left everyone confused. Palace staff were puzzled. Senior royal aides whispered behind closed doors. Even the Queen, always calm and always composed, had to ask for clarification more than once. And every single time, the same pressure point kept coming up. It needs to be done before the baby arrives. That phrase became the driving engine of the entire wedding. It was the reason decisions were made at lightning speed. It was the reason royal protocol was bent and broken. It was the reason the palace was scrambling. Meghan appeared calm, polished, and glowing. Harry appeared tense, emotional, and frantic. Behind the beautiful photographs and the smiling interviews, a very different picture was forming. A prince who felt he had no choice but to rush toward a wedding. A wedding built not on careful planning or royal tradition, but on urgency, on fear, on a secret that no one could actually confirm, but that Harry desperately believed was real. And this moment, this mad rush, became the foundation of everything that would go wrong later. Because if the baby that pushed Harry toward the wedding altar never actually existed, then the love story he thought he was protecting may never have been what he believed it was. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report now and hit that like button to support our groundbreaking investigations. By March 2018, something very strange happened inside the palace. The whispering stopped. The urgency that had pushed every royal schedule into complete chaos suddenly faded away. Meetings that had once been panicked and frantic became quiet again. Staff members who had been running at full speed just weeks before now stood around confused, wondering why the baby emergency they had been preparing for was no longer being mentioned at all. It was as if the entire crisis had simply disappeared overnight. According to quiet sources inside royal circles, Meghan had told Harry she had lost the baby. A personal heartbreak that the public never heard about. But others who were paying close attention noticed that the timelines did not match. Not even close. If Meghan had truly been pregnant in late 2017, the expected due date should have been somewhere around the middle of 2018. Yet there were no hints, no announcements, no visible physical signs at the wedding in May. Then something even more confusing happened. Harry did not act like a man grieving a loss. He acted like a man who felt relieved that a storm had finally passed. The pressure he had put on everyone around him seemed to lift. But the reason behind all of it remained wrapped in complete silence. Palace staff took note. The Queen took note. And those who had been closest to the situation began to quietly ask themselves the same question. Was there ever a baby at all? Because when Archie was born in May 2019, almost 2 full years after the alleged early pregnancy, the numbers simply did not add up. Not even a little. There was no possible way that a 2017 pregnancy and Archie were connected. This is the moment the palace began to realize something very important. The urgency that had once controlled Harry's every decision may not have been rooted in reality. It may have been rooted in belief. And belief, especially when it is tied to love and fear, can be the most powerful form of control of all. Make sure you're subscribed to Royal Daily Report and have smashed that like button for more shocking revelations. If the disappearing pregnancy created questions, then Meghan's behavior created even more. People inside the palace began to notice a very clear pattern, almost like a strategy, in the way she handled different situations. She had 3 completely different ways of acting depending on what she needed in that moment, like switching between masks. Mask number 1, the victim. When she wanted sympathy, she knew exactly how to soften her voice, widen her eyes, and present herself as someone who was overwhelmed, misunderstood, or being treated unfairly. This instantly brought out Harry's protective side. She knew that Harry had always carried deep emotional wounds, especially from losing his mother. Any sign of someone being hurt pulled him in like a magnet. Mask number 2, the partner. When she wanted loyalty, she stepped into warmth and togetherness. She acted as though she and Harry were a team, the two of them against the entire world. Every single decision became ours. Every disagreement with the palace became us versus them. And Harry, who already felt distant from the royal institution, naturally and easily followed her lead. Mask number 3, the star. When she wanted power, she turned on her full shine. The confidence, the charm, the magnetic presence, the way she could capture cameras and control conversations. This was not just natural confidence, it was deliberate strategy. It helped her carve out a space in the royal story that no newcomer had ever managed to create before. And Harry? He shifted depending on which mask she was wearing. When she cried, he rushed to defend her. When she connected with him as a partner, he followed without question. When she glowed with confidence, he faded into the background. The people around him noticed the change. A prince who had once seemed grounded was now reacting emotionally to every single shift in Meghan's mood or tone. She had found the exact combination that unlocked his choices, and she used it with great precision. Every time palace staff questioned something, every time royal protocol pushed back, every time someone hesitated, Meghan's timing was always perfect. Emotion became her strategy, love became her leverage, and Harry became the soldier fighting a war he did not fully understand. The trap was not made of metal or chains. It was made of feelings, pure, powerful emotion that quietly wrapped itself around him until he could no longer tell the difference between love and pressure. Hit that subscribe button and like this video right now to stay informed with Royal Daily Report. By the time May 2018 arrived, the machine could not be stopped. Whether the early pregnancy story had disappeared or not, the wedding was happening. The Queen had given her approval. The chapel was booked. The cameras of the entire world were ready and waiting. But inside the palace walls, no one had forgotten what had led them to this moment. They remembered Harry's panic. They remembered the rush. They remembered the impossible timeline that had forced everyone's hand. They also remembered something else. The baby, the one that had been at the center of every single decision, was no longer mentioned in any conversation. And when Meghan walked down the aisle, flawless, composed, and absolutely radiant, many people inside the royal circle felt a quiet chill rather than joy. Because they realized something that Harry had not yet understood. He was not walking into a fairy tale. He was walking into a marriage that had been built on urgency, not certainty. While the world saw white horses, beautiful flowers, glittering tiaras, and smiling crowds, palace insiders saw a very different picture. A prince who had been guided and steered. A timeline that made no logical sense. A crisis that had vanished the moment the wedding was locked in. To them, this was a wedding of strategy. A wedding of momentum. A wedding that could not be stopped once the emotional pressure had pushed it into motion. And the saddest part of all? Harry thought he had won. He believed he had protected his new family. He believed he had made the right choice. He did not know, not yet, that the moment he said, "I do," the urgency disappeared. Because its purpose had already been fulfilled, the trap had quietly and gently closed. And the cost of that one rushed moment would follow him for years to come. Don't miss any updates. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report and like this video right now. When Harry and Meghan left the palace behind, the whole world thought they were running toward freedom. Sunshine, mountains, and a mansion worth more than most royal estates. It looked like a dream. The perfect place to start a fresh new life. Harry even told friends that he finally felt free. But freedom, when it does not come with purpose, can quietly turn into a different kind of trap. In Montecito, everything felt different. The palace rules were gone. But so were the routines, the responsibilities, and the structure Harry had grown up with his entire life. He did not fully realize how much those invisible rules had been holding him up, until suddenly they were no longer there. At first, life in California felt exciting. New business deals, new projects, new headlines. But slowly, something inside Harry began to dim. People close to the Sussex circle described him as withdrawn, irritable, and restless. Like a man who had taken off running at full speed, and then suddenly realized he had nowhere left to go. Meghan thrived in their new world. Cameras, interviews, production meetings, and branding opportunities. She glowed under the spotlight. Harry, on the other hand, struggled. He was no longer the prince. He was no longer the hero. He was no longer the rebel shaking up the royal system. He felt like an accessory, a supporting character in a life that was supposed to be his own. And inside that large Montecito mansion, with walls taller than most castles, the silence inside their home grew louder than any freedom outside could ever be. Subscribe to Royal Daily Report now and smash that like button for more exclusive royal investigations. Everything comes back to that one sentence, that one email, that one moment Harry did not realize would shape the rest of his entire life. Before the baby's arrival and the wedding, it was not a simple warning. It was not just a reminder. It was a prophecy, one that revealed the truth long before Harry was able to understand it himself. In that one line, written years ago, was everything. The urgency, the fear, the manipulation, the reason he felt trapped, the reason he walked away from his family, the reason he is now a man living without a crown, without a clear role, and without the peace he once hoped love would give him. And the saddest part of all, Harry was not just tricked by lies alone. He was tricked by hope. The hope that love could fix everything that was broken inside him. The hope that Meghan could be the one person who truly chose him, just for who he was. But sometimes the real tragedy is not being fooled by someone else. Sometimes the real tragedy is realizing that you fooled yourself. Now the cameras still flash. Meghan still smiles. The brand stays polished and glowing. But Harry walks beside her quietly. No longer a prince with a story of his own. Just a man replaying the moment that changed everything. That email was not just legal evidence. It was the truth he could not see then, and cannot escape now. Cracks in a marriage do not begin with a big public scandal. They begin with a single sentence. And Harry's sentence has been echoing inside him for years. The fairy tale is over. The illusion is cracking. And the entire world is watching to see what Harry does when he finally stops pretending. This has been Royal Daily Report, bringing you the most explosive royal investigation of the decade. Thank you for watching this exclusive report revealing the shocking truth behind Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's marriage. If you found this story eye-opening, please hit that like button right now and subscribe to our channel for more breaking royal news and exclusive investigations that the mainstream media refuses to cover. Share this with everyone who needs to know what is really happening behind palace walls. Turn on notifications so you are the first to know when we post new bombshell updates on this developing story. We will continue following Harry's journey as more revelations emerge. Until next time, stay informed, stay connected with Royal Daily Report. Remember, we bring you the truth that changes everything.